resources if widely cultivated. Ford's optimistic appraisal of cellulose and crop-based ethanol alcohol fuel can be read in several ways. First, it can be seen as an oblique jab at a competitor. General Motors had come to considerable grief that summer of 1925 over another octane-boosting fuel called tetraethanol lead, and the government official had been quietly in touch with Ford engineers about alternatives to leaded gasoline additives. Secondly, by 1925, the American farms that Ford loved were facing an economic crisis that would later intensify with the Depression. Although the cause of the crisis were complex, one possible solution was seen in creating new markets for farm products. With Ford's financial and political backing, the idea of opening up industrial markets for farmers would be translated into a broad movement for scientific research in agriculture that would be labeled farm chemistry. While Henry's plans were delayed for the more than half a century, ethanol has been known as a fuel for many decades. Indeed, when Henry's Ford designed the Model T, it was his expectation that ethanol made from renewable biological materials, which would be a major automobile fuel. However, gasoline emerged as the dominant transportation fuel in the early 20th century because of the ease of operation of gasoline engines, with the materials then available for engine construction, and growing supply of cheaper petroleum from oil fields discoveries, and intense lobbying by petroleum companies for the federal government to maintain steep alcohol taxes. Many bills proposing a national energy program that made use of America's vast agricultural resources for fuel production were killed by a smear campaign launched by vested petroleum interests. One noteworthy claim put forth by petroleum companies was that of the U.S. government plans rob taxpayers to make farmers rich.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a lawyer.
I'm a journalist.
I'm a student.
I'm a teacher.
I'm a representative.
I have cancer.
The outdated laws of prohibition are more dangerous than the plant itself.
I lost my scholarship.
I was fired.
20 million arrests since 1965. This is getting ridiculous.
Our prisons are overcrowded with non-violent offenders.
We have the opportunity to change.
This is costing our country billions of dollars.
Making my family and I fight in a courtroom is difficult enough when I'm already fighting through chemotherapy.
There's no reason to be scared by tradition anymore.
We can stop this.
We can stop this.
We are the American people.
We can stop this.
And you have our support.
We're old,
Young.
Straight.
Gay.
we're every race and nationality.
And we're not going to give up.
You can tax it.
You can regulate it.
Apply age restrictions.
You can create millions of new jobs.
We can save our economy.
President Obama?
It's time for legalization.
Legalization.
Yes.
We
Can.
This has been a public service announcement. Normal.
An ex-cop is trying to keep other officers honest by catching them in stings that he calls cop busters.
It is controversial, it's questionable, and according to police, illegal. In tonight's special assignment, the Night Beat's Noel Newton reports on the man behind the stings and how police are stinging back.
We have $45 here.
The cop buster sting on this October night involves creating a drug dealer's carry-all.
To see if the cop is honest or not.
A crew records what happens. From his Travis County home, Cop Busters founder Barry Cooper stuffs a lunch kit with $45 in cash, a list of fake drug buyers, and the kicker, what appears to be a crack pipe.
It's just a glass stem with Brillo pads, so we're not breaking any laws here.
It's a special delivery for a Liberty Hill police officer, and just to make things seem more convincing.
And we also filled it with beers, and, you know, every crackhead needs a pair of 3D glasses. We threw that in there.
Cooper takes the lunch kit to a car wash in Liberty Hill and phones it into police as a suspicious bag. Within minutes, an officer arrives to take a look. The officer checks it out and leaves, apparently seeing nothing suspicious. So Cooper calls it in again. The same officer returns. This time, Cooper gets what he wants.
A police officer, if they find a crack pipe and money, they're supposed to take everything to the evidence room.
Cooper's home video shows the officer dumped all the items in the trash cans, except, Cooper says, for the $45. He requests a police report, and he says one was never made. He takes the footage to Police Chief Randall Williams.
I have your captain on video. committing a felony.
The chief watches the tape and seems appreciative.
I mean, this isn't good news for me, obvious, but I said you're doing a service, so.
Hey, thanks, man.
The chief says the Texas Rangers reviewed the case and felt no charges were necessary. The officer is still employed. Attorney Shane Bosberg is representing the officer.
He didn't take any money, he didn't see any money, and on the video it doesn't show him taking any money.
Okay, here we are for Cop Buster drop number 3.
Cooper carries out a similar sting in Lockhart and Florence. In both instances, he says the officers did the right thing by logging all the items in a police report. Cooper is pleased. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office is not. In March, Williamson County deputies, with help from Travis County, executed a search warrant on Cooper's home. They confiscate his camera equipment, videos, and computers. Cooper is arrested and charged with making a false report to a peace officer for the Florence incident and possession of marijuana. Cooper worked as a narcotics officer in East Texas. He also worked for the Permian Basin Drug Task Force. So why did this former lawman, who was a poster boy for Texas narcotics officers, end up becoming a vigilante against crooked cops?
Looking back now, I realized it was all wrong.
Cooper says as a narcotics officer, he was trained to do crooked things to make as many drug arrests as possible. He says he suffers immense guilt for his actions. He left police work in 1998 to sell cars.
I acted as an informant.
Cooper now serves as an expert witness in drug cases where he feels police used illegal tactics.
There is nobody testing the integrity of our officers out here, and that's been able to run for a long time. That's why they're so easy to catch right now.
Police aren't taking his actions lightly. In addition to the charges pending in Williamson and Travis counties, the Texas Rangers are investigating a sting Cooper carried out against Odessa police officers in 2008. Cooper created a fake drug home equipped with surveillance cameras in every room. Instead of finding drugs, they found tiny Christmas trees growing under a heat lamp. Cooper claims officers used illegal tactics to obtain a search warrant to get inside the home. In a statement, Odessa Police Chief Timothy Burton calls Cooper's actions juvenile and irresponsible. Quote, potentially illegal activities serve to waste law enforcement time and taxpayers' money. The watchdog for citizens in Austin is the Police Monitor, who says 600 complaints were filed against officers last year. Those complaints ranged from excessive force to illegal searches. We sought the opinion of retired APD Detective John Hardage.
He swore an oath, and the oath is your character.
Hardage served 26 years on the force. He argues Cooper's actions are dangerous.
I'd be a little bit upset about it, you know, if it was just all some way for some guy to make a buck. And, you know, hey, we spent X amount of resources to investigate what? You're just trying to make $1 on us? No, that's not a good way to do things.
For one, I'm very well trained. I used to teach police officers in academies all over the state of Texas. For two, I never felt unsafe performing these stings, and I never put an officer in a position to feel unsafe.
We'll place the money in.
Cooper disputes any illegal activity. He claims officers are retaliating against him. The Texas Penal Code defines false report as a person commits an offense if, with intent to deceive, he knowingly makes a false statement that is material to a criminal investigation.
You have to report an offense that really didn't occur. We reported a suspicious bag, which isn't an offense.
Sergeant John Foster with the Williamson County Sheriff's Office tells KVUE anyone who files a false report in Williamson County will be arrested.
So we're going to place this.
Because of his recent arrest, Cooper has decided to cease carrying out the bold stings, but he won't quit his mission entirely.
But I have some tricks up my sleeve that will still produce the same effects.
Is that hidden GPS?
Just in a different way.
Noel Newton, KVUE News Nightbeat.
Paging Dr. Mary Jane with an average of 1 pot prescription handed out every 15 minutes.
We've grown at about 50% a year since 2003.
The local doctor who's written more than 8,000 medical marijuana prescriptions this year. Well, the number of medical marijuana card holders has gone up ever since the drug was legalized in Oregon. And at a local clinic, one doctor authorized more than 8,000 medical marijuana cards in a year. This is part of the story you'll see in tomorrow's Portland Tribune, but KCTV's Andrew Padula is live in Southeast Portland with a preview tonight. Andrew?
Well, Shauna, the largest medical marijuana clinic in the state is right here in Southeast Portland. It's the